on English text, translations into other two languages authentic, which should become authentic text of the agreement, French and Spanish. This translation work is now underway, and we expect the opening for signature in a few months by participants in its negotiations. And of course, since it is an international agreement we are talking about, certainly each government has its own national democratic procedures to before being bound by this agreement. So including Japan, all other participants into the negotiations undertake domestic consultations in view of signing and later formally acceding to the agreement. That's about the procedures amongst the participants into the negotiations. And of course, like today, we are very much pleased to provide additional information to the public, to the countries which have not participated into the negotiations, and we are looking forward to having a very constructive and interactive discussion about what governments can do in making their interventions, making their enforcement efforts more effective in face of different challenges. So.
So thank you very much for giving me the possibility to introduce a cooperation activity today. This morning we have opened the session saying or remind that intellectual property rights enforcement or a weak intellectual property right enforcement can bring terrible or extremely negative effects in terms of economy and in terms of security. We have also said that we have to look at remedies. Cooperation is one of these remedies. I would like to speak today about a cooperation project run by the European Commission and the Chinese government. The IPR2 project for the protection of intellectual property rights is a technical assistance cooperation on IP protection and enforcement in China. This project is co-financed by the European Commission and the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, MOFCOM, for a total amount of 16 million euro and a duration of 4 years. We are now in the last phase of this project. IPR2 aims to improve an effective IPRs in China with technical assistance to the legislative, judicial, and administrative agency and institutions. We know that only an efficient, transparent, and easy accessible environment for intellectual property protection in China will encourage innovation, will promote economy, investment between Europe and China for the benefit of consumers and for the benefit of the right holders. International exchange and cooperation is one of the aspects of the IP national strategy in China, where China was explicitly asked to encourage international cooperation on IPR enforcement in terms of training and capacity building. The IPR2 project has to be allocated in this context. In fact, the national IP strategy in China was launched in 2008 after many years of negotiation. And the contract between the European Commission and the Chinese government was signed in late 2007. This is, of course, a sign that synergies between China and the European Union to reach a common understanding of intellectual property rights protection and enforcement are an instrument to reach results. The protection of intellectual property rights and a suitable enforcement system are common goals of the European Union and of China. The technical cooperation through the IPR2 project is an instrument to implement specific action and specific activities on the basis of common objectives. This work, or the work of the project and the work, the direction of the project is constantly reviewed through a consultation with the private sector and the right holders and enforcement authorities. Just to give you an example of activities that we run under the project in the enforcement area, we have supported the European Commission in the dialogue for the action plan with, between the European Commission and the Chinese Administration of Custom, GACC. In the dialogue to create a customs network, sharing information and sharing statistical information and creation of network of customs at key airports or ports. China has strongly expanded the international exchange with Europe in the field of intellectual property rights, launching many initiatives. One of them, the actual campaign on anti-piracy, launched at very high level, is supported by MOFCOM, CIPO, and MIT. This is, of course, a very positive sign. It's a very positive sign to see how cooperation can be seen as a remedy or as a way for reaching a common understanding on IPR enforcement. Of course, we have always to consider in our cooperation with China that the concept of intellectual property right is relatively new in China. As let's say, the IP word is part of the Chinese dictionary since around 10 years. But the message that we want to pass today is that international cooperation, technical assistance can be seen as a way to improve our work in the IPR enforcement. Thank you.